Right, so we're looking at solving matrices using our matrix method. We have a question here. 4x minus 5y is equal to -6. 3x plus 2y is equal to 7. These are the two matrices that, or pair matrices that we have to solve. So we're going to look at our approach to solving them. Hey, morning, what's up? So, we're now getting started there. We're going to look at how we solve matrices, solve simultaneous equations using the matrix method, right? So this is the pair of equations that I have here, equation 1, equation 2. The first part is framing your solution. Taking out of the equations, three matrices that we're going to use in order to work out what the values of x and y are. So the first matrix we're going to form is the coefficients of x and y in the two equations. So 4, 3, -5, and 2. I am taking these and I am putting these in a matrix, or 2 by 2 matrix here. I'm going to call our matrix A. The other matrix is going to be more variables, x and y. So that's this matrix here. And then the other matrix is the -6 and 7, which are the constants, right? Or the solutions, well, not solutions, but the answers for the right-hand side of each of the equation. Now, in this form here, where I have the two equations here, the two simultaneous equations, this is formed by the product of A by x, right? So when we multiply 4 minus 5, 3, 2 by xy, this is how we get in our left-hand side of the equation. And that is equal to -6, 7. That's the right-hand side of the equation, right? So ax is equal to k. That's basically what these two equations are. We want to find x. So if we want to find x, we need to move this a across on this side. But unlike algebra, if I carry the a across, A is a matrix. It doesn't divide because we don't divide matrices. We will have to find the inverse of A. So in order to solve for x and y, we have to multiply A inverse by k. Right? So it means that we need to work out what A inverse is and multiply the answer by k. Everybody understand that? Give me a thumbs up if you understand that. Yes, right. So we know to find the inverse of our matrix. Lastly, we look at finding the inverse of our matrix. The formula for finding the inverse of our matrix is going to be 1 over the determinant, which is AD minus BC, multiplied by the adjoint, D minus B minus CE, right? A set of big words there. All you're doing basically is you take in your matrix A. This is your matrix A here, right? I always put it equal to A, B, C, D. You want to visually see what it is you're doing. So you're giving your brain less things to do, less things to work out. So writing the matrix A and putting it equal to A, B, C, D, you could easily see what A is, what B is, what C is, what D is. And then in this line here, by writing the formula out, you could then see where you are plugging in value. So it's important to frame your answer, to take a particular approach to solving your questions or your problems one particular way all the time, right? That's the system. That's where you use it. So subbing values now. A is 4. B is this, sorry, D is 5. D is 2, sorry. Right? B is going to be this -5 here. And C is going to be 3. That's how subbing more values it. Then I write in more join, right? Remember, D is 2, A is 4, B is -5. Notice that I put that in a bracket because this here has nothing to do with this negative sign on this 5 here. It's going to be -5. And this is an area where students tend to make mistakes all the time, right? So remember, if the value is negative, you need to put it in a bracket and still put back this negative sign here, right? -C, we're going to get -3 there. This is the only thing that I'm focusing on in the second line. This remains the same. This is my K value here. As I continue to work downwards, notice that I'm writing back this, I'm writing back this, I'm writing back this, I'm writing back this, until I finish solve this bracket. So my focus right now is on simplifying this bracket as I work down here. After I simplify inside of this bracket, then I could move on to something else, right? So we work in 4 by 2 will give me 8, negative 5 by 3 going to give me negative 15, right? Notice this and this coming back down here, nothing changed with that. Now, this coming back down the same way too, nothing changed with this, nothing changed with this. This is the next part of tackling here now. Minus by minus is a plus. Now we're going to tackle 8 plus 15. This remaining the same. 8 plus 15 is 23. Right? This come back down. Understand? So as you're working, the things that not being used, you just keep bringing it down, bringing it down, bringing it down until it is you could start to work other things. Now that I work this out, I could multiply this by everybody inside of here. It's easy to do this because we have a 1 in the numerator. So these values here, 2, 5, negative 3, and 4, are going to appear over this 23, right? 2 over 23, 5 over 23, negative 3 over 23, 4 over 23. Everybody with me so far? Yeah, everybody with me so far? All right, nice. Now that we work out the inverse, I could now multiply the inverse by negative 6, 7, right? Now to do this, it's important when we're multiplying to always have in our mind what our answer going to look like. So when you're multiplying matrices, you know you need to check to see, one, if they're compatible. So this is a 2 by 2 multiplied by a 2 by 1. It is compatible, right? These two numbers in the middle matching. The outer numbers is going to tell us the order of the answer. It means that my answer is going to have 2 rows and 1 column. 2 rows, row 1, row 2, and 1 column. So I have a value here, I'm going to have a value here. So I am multiplying row 1 by column 1, right? This by this plus this by this. That's what I'm doing in order to work out this row 1, column 1 value, right? We adding it together because it has to be a single value here. Then we're doing row 2, the entire row 2 by the entire of column 1. That's for underneath here now. So you see, my answer, row 1, row 2, column 1. Always frame your answer is made up of row 1 by column 1, row 2 by column 1. That's where again these figures from here, right? Once you understand that, you wouldn't make any errors when you're multiplying, right? So you multiply these things out. Don't worry if you have fractions, work out the fractions. Always make sure though that you're not reducing the fractions. You want all the denominators to be the same. Because 9 out of 10 times, when you add these fractions together, you see how it have the same denominator here. Minus 12 plus 35 give them a 23 over 23. 18 plus 28 give them a 46 over 23. Most of the time, the questions that they'll give you, it'll work out. You'll be able to reduce it to a whole number value. I'll get 23 over 23 to give me 1, 46 over 23 to give me 2. The solution now is going to be x is equal to 1, y is equal to 2. Everybody all right with that? No thumbs up if you're okay with that. Yeah? All right. You all want to try one? Try one for me now. I'll give you the pair of simultaneous equations. You remember the steps? Right, so this is the question you're doing. I have the solution that we just looked at on the side, so you could use that as an example to follow a framing the question for, right? So this is the two equations. From the two equations, we need to form three matrices. These are the three matrices that we're forming. A is the coefficients of x and y. If you do have a number in front of the x, that doesn't mean a 0. I'll say now just now. It's a 1. So this is 3, 2, 1, 4. 3, 2, 1, 4. My x is the x and y values. My k is the 1 and negative 3 on this side. Remember that currently, in order to get this pair of equations, is a by x is giving us k. So if we want to find x, we have to find a inverse by k. Right? So you're starting from here. This is your formula. xy is going to be equal to 1 over AD minus BC multiplied by D minus B minus CA multiplied by K. Now, somewhere along the line, you need to put next to your matrix A that is equal to A, B, C, D, so that the examiner know you're not just pulling this out of a hat, right? Sub your values into here. And work it out. Right? I ain't do no more, yeah? Work it out, and then I will do the solution. All right? Everybody okay with that? You can handle it from there? No thumbs up if you're right with it from there. All right. Right. Finish up, and then I'll do the solution on the board. So let's solve this now. So we frame up the answer as you needed to. Now, then the sum of values to work them up. So A is 3, D is 4, minus B is 2. So you see how easy it is when we do this, right? You can just look and see what you do. Then inside of here now, D is going to be 3. B is going to be negative 2. C will be negative 1. And D is, sorry, not D, we have to get A. A is, so I'll make a mistake here, right? D is supposed to be 4 up here. And A going underneath here, 3. Cool? And we multiplying that by K. So K is 1, negative 3. Now, this is what we concern. This is what we concern with here first. Before we could do anything, we had to work out inside of here first. So let's do that, line by line. The things that are not being used, we're writing them back. So these things here are not being used. Inside of here is what I'm working on. I could work out this here. So 12 minus 2. This, nothing changing with this for now. Right? We're still inside of the square bracket here. Twelve minus 2 would give me 10. This not changing, so I write in this back. This not changing, so I write in this back. Then we're doing 1 over 10 by everything here. So we get 4 over 10 minus 1 over 10 underneath here, minus 2 over 10 and 3 over 10. Do not reduce these fractions inside of here. Leave them just as they are. Now we reach to the point where we could multiply. It's a good habit to label my rows on this side, label my columns on this side. When I go down to my other line, just to remind myself of what I'm doing, I'm going to put my row 1 here, row 2 here, and column 1. That's what my answer going to be like, right? Because we're going to be doing row 1 by column 1, and then row 2 by column 1. So we're going to get values for here and here. Understand? So row 1 by column 1, we're going to get 4 over 10 multiplied by 1 plus this one here, negative 2 over 10 multiplied by negative 3, put in a bracket. You should put these over 1 too, right? So you know that fractions are multiplied. Then underneath here, we get a negative 1 over 10, put in a little bracket, multiplied by 1 over 1 plus negative 1 over 10 multiplied by negative 3. Sorry, negative 3 over 10. This 3 over 10, you know. Multiplied by negative 3 over 1. Right? Then you start working them out. So four over 10 by 1 will give us back 4 over 10 plus a negative by negative. Always work out your signs first. That's a positive. And 2 by 3 would give us 6. 10 by 1 will give us 10. You see what I tell you? Don't reduce it. Don't reduce it. So that when you get to this line, the denominators are the same. And you can work it out and it will work out. Trust me, it will work out. Negative by positive is a negative. 1 by 1 is 1 over 10 plus a negative by negative is a positive. 3 by 3 will give me 9 and 10 by 1 would give me 10. So to avoid any issues with your signs when you get to this part, think about it, compartmentalize the operations you're doing. Think sign by sign first. Then deal with the numerator by numerator. Then do the denominator by denominator. And always approach it like that. And you wouldn't have any issues. You wouldn't mix up signs. You wouldn't get anything wrong. You had to break it up into little steps and do the baby steps to build into the bigger solution. Right? And you'll see it coming together bit by bit. Just take your time, step by step. Yeah?
So I see I got negative 3 over 10, negative 3 over 1, but I think in the second it was just 3 over 10.
Let me see. This one here?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're doing...
It was 3 over 10, and when it comes back, it was negative 3 over 10.
Okay, I've seen it, yeah, correct. Very good. So 3 over 10 by negative 3 over 1. So that will give us negative 9 over 10. Good observation. Thanks, Adrian. Right? So we now have negative 1 over 10 by negative 9 over 10. Right? So we could add these together now. 4 and 6 will give us 10 over 10. And then underneath here, the signs are the same. So I keep the sign and add. 1 and 9 will give me negative 10 over 10. And this is why I said don't reduce them. Right? Leave the denominator, leave them as how they are in the fraction. As you continue to work out the question, it will work out. So 10 over 10 will give us 1. Negative 10 over 10 will give us negative 1. So our answer is x is equal to 1, y is equal to negative 1. Everybody got that?
Yes, sir.
Nice. So this is how we framing up our answer. Don't forget to label it A, B, C, D. So when we start to put our formula here now, you're going to get AD minus BC by the adjoint, which is D minus B minus C, A multiplied by K. So we substitute in our values into here, right? One over A is 8, D is 4. B is 3, C is 5. On this side, swapping places. So up here is D. D is what? 4. A is 8 minus 3 minus 5. We know we have to work out this part here first before we multiply by 2 and minus 3. Coming down, gonna get A4 is 32 minus 15. 4 minus 5 minus 3, 8. 2, negative 3. Right, let's get now 1 over 17. 4 minus 5 minus 3, 8. Multiplied by 2, negative 3. Everything in here multiplying by 1 over 17, you get 4 over 17 minus 5 over 17 minus 3 over 17 and 8 over 17. Multiplying this by 2 minus 3. Our answer going to be made up of row 1, row 2, column 1. We're doing row 1, row 2, column 1. Here, down, here, down. So we have 4 over 17 multiplied by 2 over 1 plus negative 3 over 17 multiplied by negative 3 over 1. Underneath I have negative 5 over 17 multiplied by 2 over 1. And then on this side I have 8 over 17 multiplied by negative 3 over 1. Right? Now actually that's our answer. So 4 2's is going to give me 8 over 17 plus negative by negative is a positive. 3 by 3 will give me 9. 9 over 17. Underneath, we have negative 5 by 2 to give me negative 10 over 17 plus negative by positive is a negative and 8 by 3 is 24 over 17. Right? Right? Watch them signs, right? Them signs is what cause a lot of errors. 8 and 9 will give me 17 over 17. Underneath here, I'll end up with negative 10 on 17. And this plus by this minus here will give me a minus 24 over 17. Right? So we already have on top, that's 1. Underneath here, we're going to get negative 34 on 17. And that will give us negative 2. So x is equal to 1, y is equal to negative 2. All got that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Nice. So we're cooking with gas. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of past paper. Questions. And I'm going to take from the Jan 25 paper that was done recently. So they just had 2 questions, right? The first one was determine the values of the unknowns in each matrix equations below. So in part 1, they gave us 4, 0, -2, 5 plus x 2, 8 minus 1 is equal to -3, y 2, 4. How are we going to do this? This is based on equal matrices. Basically, what it's telling us here is when you add these two matrices together, this is the answers that you're going to get on this side, right? So to solve a question like this, you get this in an exam, what you need to do is to add up your left-hand side of the equation. When you add it up, what will happen is for some of these, you'll end up with expressions and it'll be equal to the answers on the right-hand side, and you could solve. You could solve for the x, you could solve for the y, right? I'll do an example, and then you would work out the exam question below, right? So this is my example. I am gonna make up some questions here. Hopefully we didn't get any fractions, right? Because I'm making it up. X 4, 5, 15, and 2 is equal to y 8 here, 4 here, and 8 here too. So this is my example, right? Let's make sure everything making sense. So I say, right, making sense. So to work out this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna add this left-hand side together. So I'm going to get 2 plus x, 0 plus 4, minus 5 plus 15, and 6 plus 2 is equal to 8, y, 4, 8. So nothing changed with this matrix I bring down here. All I did was I add same positions with each other. Everybody see now? Trying to use similar shapes so you'll see that I didn't like shapes with each other. That's all I do. This here is what we're calling the equal matrix. This is equal to this. Since they're equal to each other, then I could say 2 plus x is equal to 8. 0 plus 4 is equal to 4, obviously, right? Underneath here, minus 5 plus 15 is equal to y, and underneath here, 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. Right? 6 plus 2 is 8. 0 plus 4 is 4. So now we could use this in order to work out the x. Right? So for x, 2 plus x is equal to 8. So then x is equal to 8 minus 2. So x will be 6. And for y, we have minus 5 plus 15 is equal to y. Minus 5 plus 15 is like 15, take away 5, right? I'll give him a 10. So y is 10. Yeah? Everybody okay with that? So that was for 2 marks. a big set of marks, but it look intimidating initially, but it's not that difficult, right? So try the actual exam question here. This was the question on the people. Right? So you're doing exactly what we just did here. I'll make it a little small. So you see everything. Work out for X and Y for one. See if we can get an answer. Right. So this is what we're going to do for the solution. Remember, like I said, we add in, right? Similar positions, split equal here. This is where we get equal matrices. And then you equate. 4 plus X is equal to -3. 0 plus 2 is equal to 2. -2 plus Y is equal to Y. And 5 plus -1 is equal to 4. So we want to work out for this and for this, right? So for X, we get 4 plus X is equal to -3. So X is going to be -3 minus 4. X is equal to -7. And then for Y, because you see two Y's here, don't let it confuse you. Did I write something wrong incorrectly? Yes, I did. This is 80. I'm actually hungry. Right, so -2 plus 8 is equal to Y. So we're going to get plus 6 is equal to Y. So Y is 6. So X is -7 and Y is equal to 6. Right? Everybody okay with that? My little thumbs up if you're good with that there. Nice. So, no? Which part? Solama? No? All right. I just review this. So what are we doing? 4 plus X. That's how we get this. 0 plus 2. That's how we get this. -2 plus 8 is how we get this. 5 plus -1 is how we get in this. We're rewriting this matrix underneath here. Give me a thumbs up if you're okay up until that point. All right. Next, square, well, rectangle is equal to rectangle. Right? Circle, oval is equal to oval. Triangle with triangle. Right? And what are we calling this? A hexagon. 6 sides, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with a hexagon head. Like shapes with like shapes. That's how we get in this part here. Everybody all right with that? Right. So we're concerned really with working out this and this. Because that's where we have the X and the Y. Well, you have the answer for this already, right? This already is 2. This, if you work it out, you get 4. Makes sense. So for X, we have 4X is equal to -3. And for Y, -2 plus Y is equal, sorry, -2 plus 8. I don't have that there. Is equal to Y. That's how we're working out for Y. You all right with that? Yeah? Everybody good with it now, right? So use the shapes if it will help you to see it better. Make sense? All right. It had one more that they had to do. I'll do the example, right? I'm gonna The other part of the John 25 people had this question. 5, -3, 2, 3. Shiloh, you're right, right? Following? Yeah? Okay. Same equal matrices, right, guys? The difference between this one that we're going to do and the one that we did before is we had to add the two matrices and then put equal to the one on the right. Here, I actually need to multiply these two matrices and then equate the different positions, right? So, first thing first, I have to multiply here. To multiply, I'm doing row by columns, right? So, I'm going to write that. I'm going to get 5 by A plus -3 by C. This by this by this. That's row 1, column 1. Row 1, column 1. Everybody all right with that? One thumbs up if you're okay with that. Then I'm going to do row 2 by column, row 1, sorry, by column 2. So I'm going to do back the same 5 minus 3 by 2 minus 1. So 5 by 2 plus -3 by -1. So that was row 1, sorry, column 2. So row 1, column 2 is this. Everybody all right with that? Then I'm going down underneath here now. I'm doing row 2 by column 1. So 2 by A plus 3 by -1. By -C. Where I get 1 from? By C. Right? 2 by A, 3 by C. 2 by A, 3 by C. Row 2, column 1. Everybody all right with that? This by this by this. For row 2, column 1. Now thumbs up if you're okay with that. Everybody, right? Josiah, Zara, Shiloh, Dana, Israel, you good with that? Tia, quiet today, good. All right. Then I'm doing row 2 now by column 2. So row 2, column 2. I'm doing 2 by 2 plus 3 by -1. Everybody okay with that now? All of that is equal to this -10, 13, 17, and 1. I need to work out these things. So before I go on to the next slide, give me a thumbs down if you don't understand what we just did here. Any thumbs down? All right. So row 1 by column 1. 5 by A minus 3 by C. Give me a thumbs down if you're not okay with that. That's this. And that dealing with row 1 by column 1. So we're good. Thumbs up if you're okay then. Right. Then I'm doing row 1 by column 2 now. So I'm doing 5 by 2. That's this. And I'm doing -3 by 1. That's this. So that's how we're finding the value or the number that are going to go in this position. Give me a thumbs up if you're okay with that. Now we're going to do row 2 by column 1. So I'm doing 2 by A, that's this, and 3 by C, that's this. So that's how I'm finding this position. More thumbs up if you're right with that. Then I'm doing the same thing again. I'm doing row 2 by column 2 now. So I'm doing 2 by this 2 here, that's how again this. And then I'm doing 3 by this negative 1 here, that's how again this. And that covering the value for that position. So watch this, right? This yellow going to be equal to 10. So when I expand this out or solve it, it's going to be equal to 10. This green going to be equal to 13. This pink going to be equal to 17. And this blue going to be equal to 1. Tell me if everybody seeing that pattern now, that relationship. Making sense? So that's how you're going to find for the A and the C that are missing. Watch it here now. So 5A, we'll give them a 5A plus negative 3 by C, we give them a negative 3C, and the plus there, keep it negative, right? And all of that will be equal to negative 10. I'm painting that yellow. Okay? Everybody all right to that? Then I'm going to have underneath here, I'm going to have 2A plus 3C is equal to 17. I'm painting that pink. Yeah? Now, this don't have any A or B and thing inside of it, right? Neither does this. Right? You don't realize that. So what I left with is two simultaneous equations that we had to use to solve for A and C. Everybody see now? So this question was for 4 marks. So you have to multiply it out in order to come up with these two simultaneous equations. And then to solve for A, what we could do here is we could add these two equations together. This is what we call in simultaneous equations, the elimination method. We could eliminate the C's. What you're going to happen here. If I add these two equations together, I'll get 5A minus 3C, that's this part here, plus 2A plus 3C. Right? So I add this and I add this. The more thumbs up if you're okay with that. And then on this side, I have minus 10 plus 17. Everybody okay with that? Now, how I know to add the two equations together? First thing is I'm looking at the coefficient of C. Both of them is 3. So that means that's the easiest one to eliminate. But how to know if to add the two equations or subtract it? That's based on the sign in front of it. If the sign is different, add the two equations. If the sign is the same, minus the two equations. So let me repeat that. When you're doing simultaneous equations, you need the coefficient or the letter that you're going to eliminate to be the same. So here, the 3 is the same. So I could eliminate C. That's the obvious one or the easiest one to eliminate. To determine how you're going to eliminate it, turn your attention to the sign in front of the number. If the signs on both of them are different, add the two equations together. If the signs are the same, minus the two equations. So we add in because our signs are different. Look at what will happen when I add. So I take this here, put in a bracket, I add this here in a bracket, put back my equal sign, and I add in 10 and 17, right? Watch this. 5A minus 3C plus by 2a will give me plus 2a, plus by 3c will give me plus 3c. And on this side, minus 10 plus 17 would give me 7. Right? Rearrange or group here. 5a plus 2a plus 3c minus 3c is equal to 7. I just group. I group my a's together and I group my c's together. 5a plus 2a will give me 7a. 3c minus c will give me 0. So that's how I eliminate the c. It don't have c there anymore. All I have is 7a is equal to 7. So a will be 7 over 7. A is 1. Now that I know that a is 1, I just write it on the side here, right? Since a is equal to 1, then I could take any one of these equations. So let's say I'm taking this one. Then 2a plus 3c will be 2 by 1 plus 3c is equal to 17. So 2 by 1 is 2. 3c will be 17 minus 2 when I carry this across here. 3c would be 15. C will be 15 over 3. C is 5. That's how we're working out for A and C. Now, this was a section 2 question. So you find that they give you a little more to do. Give me a thumbs down if you if you don't understand what now do they. Give me a thumbs up if you understand what we do there. Everybody? Diana, Tia, Zara, Shiloh, Josiah, Israel. All right. So the good thing is I record the session.